And we're continuing with Letting in the Jungle from the Jungle Books. Mowgli has untied his adoptive parents. He wants them to escape into the jungle. Mother Wolf is going to help them get there. And here is the rest of the conversation between Mowgli and Mother Wolf. "Maybe," said Mowgli with an unpleasant look on his face, "but tonight I am very far from the trail. Wait here, but do not let her see." "Thou wast never afraid of me, little frog," said Mother Wolf, backing into the high grass, and blotting herself out as she knew how. "And now," said Mowgli cheerfully as he swung into the hut again, "they are all sitting round Buldeo, who is saying that which did not happen. When his tale is finished, they will assuredly come here with the red fire and burn you both, and then—" "I have spoken to my man," said Messua. "Khanhiwara is 30 miles from here, but at Khanhiwara we may find the English." "And what pack are they?" said Mowgli. "I do not know. They be white, and it is said that they govern all the land, and do not suffer people to burn or beat each other without witnesses. If we can go thither tonight, we live, otherwise we die." "Live, then. No man passes the gates tonight." "But what does he do?" Messua's husband was on his hands and knees, digging up the earth in one corner of the hut. "It is his little money," said Messua. "We can take nothing else. Ah, yes, the stuff that passes from hand to hand and never grows warmer. Do they need it outside this place also?" said Mowgli. The man stared angrily. "He is a fool. He is no devil," he muttered. "With the money I can buy a horse. We are too bruised to walk far. The village will follow us in an hour." "I say they will not follow till I choose. But a horse is well thought of, for Messua is tired." Her husband stood up and knotted the last of the rupees into his waistcloth. Mowgli helped Messua through the window in the cool night air, and the cool night air revived her, but the jungle in the starlight looked very dark and terrible. "Do you know the trail to Khanhiwara?" Mowgli whispered. They nodded. "Good. Remember now, not to be afraid, and there is no need to go quickly. Only there may be some small singing in the jungle behind you and before." "Think you we would have risked the night in the jungle through anything less than a fear of burning? It is better to be killed by beasts than by men," said Messua's husband, but Messua looked at Mowgli and smiled. "I say," Mowgli went on, just as though he were Baloo repeating an old jungle law for the 100th time to a foolish cub, "I say that not a tooth in the jungle is bared against you, not a foot in the jungle is lifted against you. Neither man nor beast shall stay you till you come within eye-shot of Khanhiwara. There will be a watch about you." He turned quickly to Messua, saying, "He does not believe, but thou wilt believe?" "Aye, surely, my son. Man, ghost, or wolf of the jungle, I believe." "He will be afraid when he hears my people singing. Thou wilt know and understand. Go now, and slowly, for there is no need of any haste. The gates are shut." Messua flung herself sobbing at Mowgli's feet, but he lifted her very quickly with a shiver. Then she hung about his neck and called him every name of blessing she could think of, but her husband looked enviously across the fields and said, "If we reach Khanhiwara, and I get the ear of the English, I will bring such a lawsuit against the Brahmin and old Buldeo and the others as shall eat the village to the bone. They shall pay me twice over for my crops untilled and my buffaloes unfed. I will have a great justice." Mowgli laughed. "I do not know what justice is, but come next rains and see what is left." They went off toward the jungle, and Mother Wolf leaped from her place of hiding. "Follow," said Mowgli, "and look to it till all the jungle knows these two are safe. Give tongue a little. I would call Bagheera." The long, low howl rose and fell, and Mowgli saw Messua's husband flinch and turn, half-minded to run back to the hut. "Go on," Mowgli called cheerfully. "I said there might be singing. That call will follow up to Khanhiwara. It is favor of the jungle." Messua urged her husband forward, and the darkness shut down on them, and Mother Wolf, Bagheera rose up almost under Mowgli's feet, trembling with delight of the night that drives the jungle people wild. "I am ashamed of thy brethren," he said, purring. "What, did thou not sing sweetly to Buldeo?" said Mowgli. Too well, too well. They made even me forget my pride, and by the broken lock that... Oh, sorry, this is Bagheera. Too well, they made even me forget my pride, and by the broken lock that freed me, I went singing through the jungle as though I were out wooing in the spring. Didst thou not hear us? I had other game afoot. Ask Buldeo if he liked the song. But where are the four? I do not wish one of the man-pack to leave the gates tonight." "What need of the four, then?" said Bagheera, shifting from foot to foot, his eyes ablaze and purring louder than ever. "I can hold them, little brother. Is it killing at last, the singing and the sight of the men climbing up the trees that made me very ready? Have made me very ready. Who is man, that we should care for him, the naked brown digger, the hairless and toothless, the eater of earth? I have followed him all day at noon. In the white sunlight I have herded him as the wolves herd buck. I am Bagheera, Bagheera, Bagheera. As I dance with my shadows, so I dance with those men. Look!" The great panther leaped as a kitten leaps at a dead leaf twirling overhead, struck left with his right into the empty air and sang under the strokes, landed noiselessly and leaped again, while the half-purr, half-growl gathered head as steam rumbles in a boiler. "I am Bagheera in the jungle, in the night, and my strength is to me. Who shall stay my stroke, man-cub? With one blow of my paw I could beat thy head flat as a dead frog in summer." "Strike, then," said Mowgli, in the dialect of the village, not the talk of the jungle, and the human words brought Bagheera to a full stop, flung back on haunches that quivered under him, his head just at the level of Mowgli's. Once more Mowgli stared as he had stared at the rebellious cubs, full into the beryl green eyes, till the red glare behind their green went out like like the light of a lighthouse shut off 20 miles across the sea, till the eyes dropped and the big head with them dropped lower and lower, and the red rasp of a tongue grated on Mowgli's instep. "Brother, brother, brother," the boy whispered, stroking steadily and lightly from the neck along the heaving back. Be still, it is the fault of the night, and no fault of thine." "It was the smells of the night," said Bagheera penitently. "This air cries aloud to me, but how dost thou know?" Of course the air around an Indian village is full of all kinds of smells, and to any creature who does nearly all his thinking through his nose, smells are as maddening as music and drugs are to human beings. Mowgli gentled the panther for a few minutes longer, and he lay down like a cat before a fire, his paws tucked under his breast, and his eyes half shut. "Thou art of the jungle, and not of the jungle. Thou art of the jungle, and not of the jungle," he said at last, "and I am only a black panther, but I love thee, little brother." "They are very long at their talk under the tree," Mowgli said, without noticing the last sentence. "Buldeo must have told many tales. They should come soon to drag the woman and her man out of the trap and put them into the red flower. They will find that the trap sprung. Ho ho!" "Nay, listen," said Bagheera. "The fever is out of my blood now. Let them find me there. Few would leave their houses after meeting me. It is not the first time I have been in a cage, and I do not think they will tie me with cords." "Be wise, then," said Mowgli, laughing, for he was beginning to feel as reckless as the panther who had glided into the hut. "Bah!" Bagheera grunted. "This place is rank with man, but here is just such a bed as they gave me to lie upon in the king's cages at Udapore. Now I lie down." Mowgli heard the strings of the cot crack under the great brute's weight. "By the broken lock that freed me, they will think they have caught big game. Come and sit beside me, little brother. We will give them good hunting together." No, I have another thought in my stomach. The man-pack shall not know what share I have in the sport. Make thine own hunt. I do not wish to see them. Be it so, said Bagheera. Ah, now they come. The conference under the peepul tree had been growing noisier and noisier at the far end of the village. It broke in wild yells and a rush up the street of men and women waving clubs and bamboos. And sickles and knives. Buldeo and the Brahmin were at the head of it, but the mob was close at their heels. And they cried, "The witch and the wizard! Let us see if hot coins will make them confess. Burn the hut over their heads. We will teach them to shelter wolf devils. Nay, beat them first. Torches, more torches. Buldeo, heat the gun barrels." Here was some little difficulty with the catch of the door. It had been very firmly fastened, but the crowd tore it away boldly, and the light of the torches streamed into the room, where, stretched at full length on the bed, his paws crossed and lightly hung down over one end, black as the pit and terrible as a demon, was Bagheera. There was 1/2 minute of desperate silence as the front ranks of the crowd clawed and tore their way back from the threshold, and in that minute Bagheera raised his head and yawned, elaborately, carefully, and ostentatiously, as he would yawn when he wished to insult an equal. The fringed lips drew back and up, the red tongue curled, the lower jaw dropped and dropped, till you could see halfway down the hot gullet, and the gigantic dog teeth stood clear to the pit of the gums till they rang together, upper and under, with the snick of steel-faced wards shooting home round the edges of a safe. Next instant the street was empty. Bagheera had leaped back through the window and stood at Mowgli's side, while a yelling, screaming torrent scrambled and tumbled one over another in their panic haste to get to their own huts. "They will not stir till day comes," said Bagheera quietly, "and now—" The silence of the afternoon sleep seemed to have overtaken the village, but, as they listened, they could hear the sound of heavy grain boxes being dragged over earthen floors and set down against doors. Bagheera was quite right. The village would not stir till daylight. Mowgli sat still and thought, and his face grew darker and darker. "What have I done?" said Bagheera at last, coming to his feet, fawning. "Nothing but great good. Watch them now, till the day I sleep." Mowgli ran off into the jungle and dropped like a dead man across a rock. Slept and slept the day round, and the night back again. When he waked, Bagheera was at his side, and there was a newly killed buck at his feet. Bagheera watched curiously while Mowgli went to work with his skinning knife, ate and drank, and turned over with his chin in his hands. "The man and the woman are come safe within eye-shot of Khanhiwara," Bagheera said. "Thy lair mother sent the word back by Chill the kite. They found a horse before midnight of the night they were freed, and went very quickly. Is not that well?" "That is well," said Mowgli. "And thy man-pack in the village did not stir till the sun was high this morning. Then they ate their food and ran back to their houses. Did they by chance see thee?" "It may have been. I was rolling in the dust before the gate at dawn, and I may have made some small song to myself. Now, little brother, there is nothing more to do. Come hunting with me and Baloo. He has new hives that he wishes to show, and we all desire thee back again as of old. Take off that look which makes me ever afraid. The man and the woman will not be put into the Red Flower, and all goes well in the jungle. Is it not true? Let us forget the man-pack. They shall be forgotten in a little while. Where does Hati feed tonight?" "Where he chooses. Who can answer for the Silent One? But why? What is there Hati can do which we cannot?" No pause there.